congratulations on your second Champions Tour victory. Last was at the U.S. Senior Open, but I know probably not much more to say from yesterday since we didn't play today. But maybe just, share your thoughts on getting into the winner's circle again.
Yeah, it was it was a really trying week for everybody here this week. I think the staff here, the volunteers, the grounds crew, everybody did an incredible job getting the course prepped and ready for play. And it's such a downer for them to have the weather kind of throw this wet blanket on things. I really feel badly for the tournament, but I think, in all honesty, we all kind of knew this was coming, and I think it's miraculous that we got in 36 holes, and just kudos to everybody there. And in fact, the weather was kind of a driving force in everything this week. I mean, I changed some of my equipment this week to accommodate the weather, and put in a different driver that had a little bit more spin, and so I think we all made those adjustments, and here we are Sunday morning, and this is all she wrote.
I know you alluded to it when they were doing the trophy presentation, but I guess the course conditions were very good despite the rain.
Well, the rain made the fairways a nightmare, a quagmire, but they also softened the greens considerably, and so the greens were a lot more receptive than they have been here in years past. And the indicator there was the scoring. I mean, 11 under for 2 rounds here is pretty good, but the scores yesterday, a couple 64s, so several 66s and 67s and 68s. So if you could drive your ball in play, and that was the key, because if you're in the rough, you couldn't clean your ball, and you had mud and all kinds of stuff on it. But if you could keep your ball in play, the conditions allowed us all to attack the hole locations, and as I said, the scores would indicate that was the case.
Are you kind of glad, though, that you didn't have to play today, knowing that Bernhard was on the field?
Well, I've stated it publicly, and I told him this morning. Actually, he's an incredibly gracious individual and a champion's champion. And I went over and shook his hand, and he gave me a hug, and I asked him if he had seen what I said about him yesterday, just to make sure. And he said no, and I said, well, I called you a menace, because you win almost every tournament out here, and he's really a public peril on the golf course. The guy is an extraordinary competitor. He's a top-notch human being. He's everything that Champions Tour represents, and I was going to really enjoy going out there and playing with Bernhard. I always do, and no matter what the outcome today, I'd have come away better for it. Having said that, I don't mind having that big sugar jar sitting with my name on it.
This is the first 36-hole tournament on the course now. 2011 started, and I'll look at the records, and you were right on the bird. You were on the other.
I was on the other side of it, yeah, and I was hot about that. So, they say things even out. Maybe it evened out my way this time.
They come back and play tonight?
I think I'll do that. Love coming here. Love this golf course. I like this area. Good people. Great tournament crew. Everybody puts their best foot forward. The hospitality here is great. And it's familiar turf. I've been coming here for a number of years. It's really great here, and I look forward to it next year.
I asked you yesterday, I think 4 top 10 teams this year.
Mm-hmm.
In a short span, you guys feel good about where you are and just kind of picking up some things.
I've been playing solid golf this year, if unspectacular, finishing in the mid-10s, starting right out of the box at Hualalai this year, and I made a commitment this year to try and play better more often. I've been kind of laissez-faire about the way I play golf, which is to just let it happen when it happens. I'm trying to force the issue a little bit more this year. I guess maybe you get a little perspective as your career begins to wind down. I'm 55, heading to 56 here shortly, and you don't know how much time you have left, and I'd really like to just continue to improve, and that's the beauty of what we do in this game. I mean, that's why I represent Callaway Golf. I mean, they're trying to get things better all the time. I'm trying to get better all the time. Everybody out here is doing things better all the time. It's such a hard it's such a hard game, but it's so rewarding. And when it eludes you, you can't figure out for the life of you why. And when you're playing well, it's also sometimes hard to figure out why. So, obviously a bunch of things came together for me. I wasn't putting very well, for example, in the Pro-Am. I flew in late, had some stuff at home to deal with, and got here on Wednesday night late. And I didn't putt particularly well on Wednesday, but on Thursday morning as I was warming up, I made just a small adjustment. I added some more loft to my putter, which helped. And all of a sudden, putts started going in the hole. And it's just, the edge is so fine out here. It's hard to explain. So that's why I really stand in awe of guys like Bernhardt, who come every single week and bring it every single week and play great every single week. And I have great admiration for that. And I'd like to do a little better of that myself.
Ian said something on the first day, going back to his history on this course, going back to the South Classic. And he talked about how different it would be if Kermit ever got 3 straight sunny days and you know, how challenging those greens could be. How different would it be, do you think?
Well, I remember playing here one year when I think Ben Crane won, and we had good weather all week, and things were pretty fast. Ben Crane drove it all the way down the bottom of the hill on 18 and hit 7 or 8 iron into the green, made eagle. So it happens occasionally here. But, you know, it's springtime in the south. I mean, there's a reason you have those beautiful flowers out there. It's not because it's a desert, right? You get plenty of rain and plenty of sunshine, and they tend to mix up. And yes, it would be wonderful to see, because the course would play firm and fast. The greens would be a lot slicker, and it'd be really hard to get to some of those hole locations. And, you know, it would bring an element of strategy that we haven't seen here in the last 3 years. But, you know, all you can do is show up and take what the course gives you and what the conditions give you and play away.